Hi everyone, how is the Sunday afternoon panning into the evening? I hope you had a nice Sunday lazy nap and did some self nurturing, slept, had some nutritious food. It's nice to see you all on a Sunday. So, those of you who have seen my last two posts would know that I'm here to talk about a very special person who is a nominee for the Restore Awards. Our jury has nominated her, and she's doing some amazing work in mental health. She herself is a warrior, and she is currently pursuing her MD in psychiatry. And she is a certified educator for LGBTQIA. So at a very young age, she's doing all these things, and we would love to get her work up front to all of you. You know, during the COVID, there have been a lot of people who have been feeling the anxiety and depression, and there's no one to really talk about it, and there is no end in sight. Someone like this doctor who has been nominated by our jury is really helping people during the pandemic. So I'm just waiting for her to send me a request so that I can take her. Okay, we're going to be joined by Dr. Madhura Samudra. Dr. Madhura, if you can send me a request on over here on this slide, then I will be able to take you in. Yeah, I can see a lot of people here, a lot of regulars who I really look forward to. I'm just waiting for here she is.
Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you doing? Did I disrupt your Sunday nap?
I'm so good, thank you. No, of course not. But thank you so much for having me here.
Great. No, it is an honor to have a nominee like you who's doing such amazing work at such a young age. I mean, this generation, you people are leading the way for, helping older people, younger people come out and talk about their well-being and how mental well-being is, it's like a pain in my knee. It is there. So normalizing this and having a conversation, hats off to you. We have
Thank you
everyone
so
here,
much.
Dr. Madhura Samudra, who has founded Sign Me Up, right?
Yes.
Sign Me Up. PSYMEUP. Please go to her handle and check it out. She is the
Thank you.
nominee for Restore Awards, our Restore Awards, which are going to happen on December 11th. And we want people like her to win, and our jury is going to decide the winner. But first, tell me, Madhura, what pushed you to do all this work during COVID and help people?
Actually, when the pandemic hit us, I realized that all the citizens and the doctors alike were absolutely clueless about what was happening. We did not know how far it is going to take us. We did not know how bad it is going to be. So it was just the, fear of the unknown and the anxiety that was created at that point. I saw how beautifully the Instagram community was coming ahead and, putting pictures of their food creativity at home, their artworks at home, the stuff they were doing with their family members. And I thought, if uh, I could do something via social media and get to people and tell them that, it's okay if you're feeling that feeling that you're getting, that fear is completely okay and you're going to be okay. And I think that's what pushed me to start the page. And yeah, it has been going really well so far.
and helping so many people. That's
Thank you.
really so amazing. But you do have your own battles that you struggle with. So
Yes.
please, why don't we talk about it? As someone who has been through, I went through depression when I was on methotrexate, battling
Right.
my arthritis, and I was suicidal, and so that was because of my disease. And
Right.
talked about it. So the more we talk about it, the more people will normalize it. So please share.
Actually, the thing is that the first time really had a panic attack, I didn't even know it was a panic attack that I was having while I was actually training to be a doctor. I was, in med school, and I got this feeling which I had never felt before, and I started shaking. And, it was just something that I had never experienced before. And for a second, I thought that something bad is going to happen. Am I going to die? Am I having a heart attack? I just could not understand what was happening. Um, the first time I actually went to someone about it, it was dismissed very easily that, no, it's nothing, these things happen. It's very, you can't be depressed. It's just stress. It's okay. So that kind of went on for a while, and until I started seeing its effects on my day-to-day activities. I mean, I even getting out of bed seemed like a big task, even um, doing anything, any of the basic things which normal people, like people would say that, uh, इसमें क्या है? What is the big deal in doing this? But those things seemed so difficult at that point. And I guess when it reached the extent of where I thought that, life was not worth anymore and I should not continue my life anymore. That's when I thought that no, maybe there is someone that may help me out of this situation. Maybe there is someone that, would hear me and let me know something is wrong. And that's when I went to a psychiatrist in Mumbai, and they told me that yes, what have you been waiting for? You've been depressed for so long, and why are you here after so long, after suffering for so long? And that's when I realized that it is so difficult for people to just advise going to a psychiatrist, because it is so stigmatized in our country. It is, such a taboo going to a psychiatrist, that even when I had gone the first time, the reactions that I had gotten, that, are you going to a psychiatrist? Is everything is okay? I mean, you could just go here and there and they will help you out. Why go to a psychiatrist? Things are not that bad. So, but my experience was actually wonderful and it helped me so much. And I saw the changes that it brought in me. Just knowing and being aware of, what I was going through and what was happening with me was such a big relief. And it did not feel like, it was not just in my head. And I was so used to hearing that, no, it's just in your head and it's not real, that finally when someone told me that it is real and it is an illness and we can treat it, I think that was the biggest blessing that I was given at that point. And I just decided at that point that this is what I want to do. This is the feeling that I got when she told me. I wanted to give that feeling to a lot of more people, and yeah, so here I am doing that myself.
So amazing. And someone like you who was in medical school, everybody thinks that doctors know how to cope and we turn to doctors for everything. And you yourself did not know where to go at that point in time. So, what was the time frame between your first panic attack and then you getting the help from the psychiatrist?
2 years.
What are you saying? And you
So it
suffered for
was.
2 years
Yes,
just.
and there was a point where I actually reached the point where I thought that, maybe it's just me. I am the problem, and I don't have the enough, resilience or strength to cope with problems. That is when it hit me that, what if this is a problem that not many people know about?
Right.
What if this is a problem that, not many people are comfortable talking about? So instead, at that point, before second guessing myself, I thought that let me just put up one last fight. And it was like a life-saving thing that I did, because going to the psychiatrist, I think, was the most important decision of my life, and she helped me so much.
So everyone listening, Dr. Madhura Samudra is a doctor uh, doing her MD training to be a psychiatrist, she went through 2 years of anxiety, panic attacks. Is it right to say depression?
Yes.
Went through depression without a diagnosis. As a doctor, she was running from pillar to post and being told that it's in her head. And finally, she saw a psychiatrist, and she is so much better. And she's here with us, taking her cause forward and helping people with anxiety, depression, and hopefully she's the nominee for the Restore Awards, which we have instituted, which are annual awards, and they're going to be held on December 11, but the nominations are currently going on till November 30th. If you feel like Madhura that you have helped others, you can nominate yourself. You can inbox me, or you can go to the Restore Awards handle and inbox over there to get to know the nomination form. I will also put it up as a swipe on my story. Um, and Madhura, I really, really would love to have you on that global stage. We have, 300,000 people who
Wow.
watch the awards every year. And this message of yours of, you know, if you cut your hand, you go to a doctor. If you have depression, you go to a doctor. You seek help. This message of yours, you need to be up there on stage, and I
Thank you.
really
Thank you
wish
so
that
much.
you win and you spread that message through as
Thank
well.
you so much.
I also want to talk to you about your LGBTQIA. Tell me a little more about that.
So it was just an area of interest that, I wanted to seek information on, but I did not find proper sources. Even being in the field myself, I
Hmm.
could not seek help or more information from any mentor or someone. So I realized the best source is going to be the community itself. And when I started interacting with more people from that community, when I started actually going to them and talking to them about their problems, that what exactly, is because we sitting on the other side, us, cis people, we can just only assume what the trans community or the LGBTQIA plus community is actually going through. But when I realized that they would be the best source, they would be the ones to tell me that what exactly bothers them, because sometimes there are problems in our head which may not be big enough for them, and there are sometimes that we things that we don't even see as problems which are. And one of the biggest problem was safety at a doctor's office. I mean, not every doctor is LGBTQIA friendly, not every doctor is open and informed. They do not. And that's a very sad scenario to be in right now, because they are there and they are everywhere in our country, and they are not hiding, and they don't need to hide. So
Yeah.
they they are there, and we need to do something. We need to um, educate more doctors how to examine a person who's in the LGBTQIA community, how to take consent of that person, how to be more gender inviting, how to be more gender inclusive as a
Right.
person. And it uh, it's very confusing now when you have lived for, like, so many years in a certain type of community, and suddenly one day you're told that you are supposed to accept more pronouns than she or him and her or he. And but what you need to realize is that that's how strongly they feel about it. And I remember the first time when I had to, as a cis person, tell someone that, I recognize as she or her.
Hmm.
And they asked me, why do you have to mention that? I mean, you're a cis, okay, you are a woman, I can see it. I was like,
Hmm.
no, because that has to be something that we adapt into our day-to-day conversations.
Right.
That, it should become a habit that before assuming someone's gender just by their appearance, we need to take consent. We need to ask them what they identify as. And that's such an
Right.
important thing for someone going through it, right? Because for us, it may not mean that. It may not mean, a lot. But for them, even just being addressed as their recognized gender is such an important thing. And these little things I picked up on when I interacted with them, when I started, working on and working with them, is I realized that they are the best source. And I could not even give you like 10 or 20% of the information that they could give, but it's just an area of interest that I genuinely want to work in. And I hope I can do more work in this soon.
No, no, I really, really want to thank you for this, because that's a neglected part of our society which needs to be incorporated on an everyday basis. And we all need to appreciate our differences and live together. Just like you and I look different, you and I think differently. It is not about somebody's gender, it is about the human being, or it is about their mind and how they think. And we need
Yeah.
to toleration has gone down so much. It's it really breaks my heart to see all that. So
Yes.
yesterday or day before, there was this birthing debate that happened in the UK. I don't know if you read about
Mm-hmm.
that. They are saying that you can't just say a woman gives birth to a child. It has to be
Right.
a birthing person. You have
Right.
to at a person,
Right.
because now there are also certain other genders that have the
With a
capability.
uterus. Yes,
Yes, yes,
definitely.
yeah,
So it's not, now we have started calling them as you said, birthing people. We call them menstruators or people with vagina, people with
yeah.
ovaries, and that is such an important recognition for them into the a world, which is, um, I see that, and then I'm beaming with hope that this continues and it grows, and they are soon recognized as a very major part of our community.
Oh, absolutely, great, great. So, what is the one message that you would have for people struggling with mental health?
That you don't have to struggle at all, because it is something that can be taken care of, and it doesn't have to be so severe that you have to see the end of life and go seek help. Therapy that isn't only for someone who's struggling or suffering, but it could be something as simple as getting to know yourself better, loving yourself better, loving other people better, mending your relationships, getting to know your thoughts. All of these things come under therapy, and it is such a beautiful experience to go through. Having said that, because I have gone through that experience myself, and it has changed me as a person. So I think I would just suggest that if ever that thought has struck in your mind that I should go see a therapist, don't wait on it, just do it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Give us 2 or 3 tips that someone who is struggling should, just get up and do. Because, when you are in a dark place, it's very difficult to take action yourself. The
Yes.
motivation is not there and all. So, how does one take those first 2, 3 steps?
So I always tell people that the first thing you need to do is, be completely aware as to what is happening. There are some specific triggers that actually pull us down so much that we feel paralyzed, we feel numbed out at that point, and doing anything at that point seems very, very difficult. So recognize those triggers, recognize the things and the emotions that set you into that zone. Be aware of what is happening in your mind, why your mind is trying to tell you to take that rest. Maybe you have been just pushing yourself beyond that limit, and now you've finally reached that point of exhaustion. Or maybe you have suffered some emotional trauma which you're not able to recognize, which you're not ready to recognize, and you're denying. That is why your mind is asking you to take that rest. So uh, just being aware and retrospecting why I may be feeling like this, and has something happened to make me feel like this. Also, it is very important for us to just be again aware of our energy levels also. If we wake up with, let's say half of the energy that we had the previous day, but we plan to do the same amount of things, it is going to take us to a point of exhaustion, exertion, and it's going to cause a residual exhaustion for the next day. So you're going to feel even more tired the next day and you won't feel like doing anything. So I feel, these just being introspective and just being aware of what is happening within your mind and your body and taking their hints seriously. Because when, it's, if our leg is hurting, we would stop walking, right? Because we would take our leg seriously, that our leg is trying to tell us that, listen, don't walk anymore. So just how your mind is telling you to take a rest, just take rest. Um, Also, I think that it's very important to stay connected with your loved ones and family or any support system at this point, because as most of the things are happening virtually, and we don't have, even though the access is much better now, but we don't know when that access would be taken away from us again. So I think it is very, very important to be there for others and let others be there for you. There is no shame in, seeking support and taking some consolation from someone, because these people are going to be your pillars of strength throughout this time. So yeah, it's just the little things and that you can do. But if it feels too much, it is okay to take that day off. Your mental rest is as important as physical rest, and go ahead and take that nap, because I mean, it's going to be worth it later on.
That's true. That's true. I still remember, sometimes we get caught up in this whole thing about not giving ourselves the permission to rest.
Yes,
So,
definitely.
so that becomes a huge. You talked about chronic fatigue and wanting to rest, and I know so many chronic fatigue warriors. I myself, since I'm an autoimmune warrior, now because I'm aware, I recognize when I need to shut down and just put on Netflix or read a book.
Yes.
But
And the hustle culture in general, that you have to overachieve and be productive
yes,
all the time. It's
yes.
so harming and deteriorating for the young generation right now. It's so we need to bring back the importance of resting and just doing nothing sometimes.
Yes, absolutely. There is also this whole thing around which I'm seeing a lot of people with chronic fatigue and then going towards depression is the battle with themselves about what they thought they would be
Yes.
versus who they really are.
Yes, just the mental pressure of, you putting on yourself and not having achieved what you thought is, it
Yeah,
can set you on that path, which is, yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And you can't put anything in a box. So, that is also the reason why mental health is not so talked about, because it has so many more layers.
Yes,
You break your ankle, it's a very straightforward process.
yes.
Uh, so that's why, but what a lot of people don't realize is that even the healing of that ankle is going to depend on your mental
Yes.
health. And how much pain you feel versus how little pain you feel is also going to be dependent
Of
on
course.
that.
And the biggest difference I have seen in people is, when you suffer a physical trauma, physical injury, and let's say you fracture your leg or you have an ankle injury, you will give it the rest it needs. You will ice it, you will take care of it. When you start walking also, you will use support for the first few days. You will then start walking, then jogging, and then running. But with mental health, it is a common scenario that I have seen, that people, if they feel that, okay, there's something wrong, they have gone through emotional trauma, their immediate reaction is, I need to push that aside and do everything I can to get out of it, right? Without having, it's like you've broken your leg and next day you want to run a marathon, which is
Yes,
just not possible. So
correct.
I feel just giving yourself that much rest and giving yourself that much time is so very important.
Wise words from someone so young. Amazing, amazing. So tell me now, how does it feel to get nominated for this at such a young age?
I I shouldn't say this, but I genuinely thought it was a scam. Like, I genuinely thought that I was getting a scam message, that this is not gonna be anything. And but I went on the page, I read about it, I saw the, esteemed jury, and I was like, okay, this is real and this is
Yeah,
something is happening. And more than anything else, I guess it's just that people are willing and recognizing people who are trying to help others, because most people think of social media as a platform just to post your fun pictures, and but that's not true. People are going out there helping so many people, and we have seen that during the pandemic people have helped each other so much, and there was so much positivity and support that we could find on social media. And
Yeah.
I feel each one of us is trying their own way to use this app for something, doing something better. And I'm just glad. And with this medium, you will be recognizing more such people, and you'll be
Right.
finding out, and you will be telling others to come ahead and tell you all that this is what we've been doing. And that just excites me so much to get to know more people from the community and see that. So it's
Yeah, no, and you rightly said, so when we talk about nominating people, or the jury is nominating the people, the first question that I get very often is, what is in it for you? You are not, there is no nomination fee. There are gifts and prizes, and we had announced a cash prize also for the activity challenge, which is now closed. And the constant question that comes is that, okay, these guys are not gaining from me, but yet they want to recognize me and reward
right.
me. So, like you stood up and you did selfless work. We all did. My community and I did that. And sometimes it becomes difficult for people to trust that it is just for the purity of helping the community. I'm sure you experienced that on social media yourself.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So everyone over
But
here, the Restore Awards are an annual feature. At the end of every year, we do that. There is no nomination fee. There are wonderful doctors and healers like Dr. Madhura Samudra who are nominated. If you are a healer warrior, if you have overcome a health issue, mental health issue, physical health issue, cancer, autoimmune, obesity, type 2 diabetes, any other kind of health issue, and you feel that you can inspire an entire community. If you are a health chef or a health brand, if you're a sustainable living brand, our community stands for sustainability, sustainable living. If the health of the earth is fine, then our health is also going to be fine. So if you fall into any one of these categories, please inbox the Restore Awards at the Restore Awards, no space, and they will share the process with you. There is a nomination form. All you have to do is fill out the nomination form. The last date is November 30th, but the sooner you nominate, the sooner it goes into the process for the jury, and you can be up here talking about your work like Dr. Samudra has been talking about her work. So please, Dr. Samudra, please inspire others who are there. And
definitely. And I am so excited to meet more such people who have been doing this great work. So I hope many people come forward and nominate themselves also, because it's just going to grow our community so much, and it'll make us believe in the purity and the selflessness of people again. So I just hope more people come forward.
thank you so much. Any last words that you want to say?
I'm just extremely honored that you had me here and you had me talk about my own journey. It's just been a wonderful experience, and I know you have gone through so much yourself, and you are making something out of it. So you are like a big inspiration for all of us also, and everyone watching this. So I just want to thank you.
Thank you so much. The honor is completely ours, and I look forward to seeing you on stage. Keep your
Thank you
speech
so
ready,
much.
so that
Thank you
you
so
can spread.
much.
Okay, okay,
Thank you
great.
so much.
Okay. So that was a wonderful, very young Dr. Madhura Samudra. Please reach out to her if you are looking for help with your mental health. And please also nominate yourselves for the award if you have done any work in the areas of healing, or you're a warrior who has recovered well, or you're a health chef, health blogger. We also have a health messenger category. All the categories are there on the nomination page. Just inbox me or the Restore Awards, and they will send you the nomination form. The Restore Awards are your platform, and the only purpose we have in this, why we instituted, is to help people understand how we can prevent, health crisis, how we can bring mental health to the fore, how we can rebuild our immunity, and how we can have sustainable living while we live well. So on a Sunday evening, I don't want to take too much of your time. Just go out there, and I'm going to now, after this session, do my 20 minutes of Anulom Vilom, and then going to spend time with my family. I hope you also spend time with your loved ones. So I will see you very, very soon with yet another nominee from the Restore Awards who is helping people get better. Bye.